All this TRP National Motocross action is proudly brought to you by Bridgestone Motorcycle Tyres. Thor Riding Apparel and their associate sponsors. Welcome to third round action for the TRP National Championships here at Bloemfontein Off-Road Club. And this club has gone all out to provide a surface that is probably going to be some of the best we're going to see all season long. The racing has been fantastic leading up to this event, and with a record number of entries, it certainly shows that things are happening in motocross here in South Africa. And the crowds are coming out despite the chilly conditions here in Bloemfontein. But of course, we're in the Free State, and in wintertime, it gets quite chilly here. But the racing is going to be red hot, as we've seen all season long so far. The ladies from MXSA have gone all out to ensure that we've got great racing and big numbers racing in those races as well. Let's get ready now with the future of the sport as the 50cc's line up. It is chilly here in Bloemfontein, and that is definitely one way to warm up. So far at the front end, it's been pretty much a domination from Andrea Maynard, and it's kind of what's happened over the last couple of seasons with this category. We seem to get one rider who just seems to have that little edge over the rest. But expect to see a little bit of a change-up as they get into the gates and start racing for the first time. Maynard against Pullen. We're going to see a lot of changes as well with Tilly, VM, and of course Emile Crosset, a man who went really well at the last round, pushing through. Gates down, and we go racing down towards Bridgestone. The first turn here at Bloemfontein. They get cut a little bit shorter than the normal guys, and as they go through there, you can see everybody, well, almost everybody staying upright. One little rider getting caught out there as they went through turn one. Now onto the short and mini track, and oh, there's a big crash. There's two riders involved there, and I think we may be seeing... Oh, well, Maynard's got to the front, so it's Andrea Maynard that leads things out at this stage, but look at how they're starting to come through. I'm just watching in the background. I think Jack Pullen might have actually been caught up in that little fracas, and we'll have to wait and see if he's actually got through. The 31 bike, no, he has. He's right there. He's got to second. He just avoided the action as those riders went down. Just behind them, you can see also Louis Mostert with a fantastic start, and he's starting to close in there. Blake Frost is up as well. Aidan Henley, what a start there from him. Really good to see these youngsters holding nothing back and going at it. Full tilt right from the word go. Frost up there as well, pushing and looking for a way to stay in third place at the moment. Behind them, it's Blade Tilly and, of course, Riley Wiem, who are going at it side by side. Coming through there, Sven Larsen, also starting to make some ground up now as we get into the thick of this first heat of racing here in the 50cc's. A little bit of maneuvering there and some big jumps here for these guys. With the little 50cc's handling it to perfection. And look at this, even in the mid-pack, some fantastic battles as we're seeing some big moves there from Larsen. Sven is starting to make his way up and looking for a chance to get into the top 10. He's just behind Nicol Smith. Smith not quite getting the start that he wanted. There's big pace though coming from this, and look at that slow-mo action. That is the kind of commitment we're seeing from the man in second place at this stage. Right through and pushing to the front end, another bit of a change up there. That is Frost up to third. Right behind him is Louis Mostert. Coming from the back, I'm just keeping an eye out. Yeah, there he comes. Aidan Henley starting to put some pressure from the back end of the field. Oh no! Oh, that's Pullen. Pullen going down right behind the leader. He made a big move on the inside to get past Andrea Maynard, and he just clipped his back wheel. And he get back up and riding. Yes, he's got back up. Hopefully the bike hasn't stalled. It hasn't. He's lost only one position. That's a good recovery there. So he's got to try and find a way back on Blake Frost. There's only a couple of laps still to do it in. Henley is absolutely hauling, starting to close in. In fact, I think he might even get past Blade Tilly there. So that's how things are going to change up for that top 10. And it looks like Aidan Henley is looking for a top 5, never mind a top 10. The kind of late race pace he's got on the 94. A good run here from the youngster. Big air time from some of these riders. No one's going to catch Andrea Maynard. He hasn't made a mistake other than nearly going down. But look at that. Pressure has paid off, and what a ride. Jack Pullen back into second, finding a way past on Blake Frost, Damien Venter, and of course Louis Mostert just behind them. Now coming into the closing stages, this is what it's all about in the 50cc's. Good recovery from Jack Pullen. There is third place, Blake Frost. Behind him is 4 and 5, and it looks like the fourth place rider might be under attack. Yes, Damien Venter putting some late race pace in and looking for a way through there on Louis Mostert. The flag comes out, and it's another win there for our championship leader. Andrea Maynard very happy with the performance. Good recovery from Jack Pullen. And look at that in the background. Yes, oh, right on the last turn. That is an incredible bit of riding there, and well done to Damien Venter for squeezing out Louis Mostert. It was Aidan Tilly just behind him. So that's how things end up in the top 8. Fantastic riding from our 50cc's here in Bloemfontein. Let's move on to the MX1s. The big class, the 450s, and we've got a big gate of 450s as well here this weekend. Fantastic to see the amount of effort that these guys are putting in, and they all are ready to rock here. Ross Branch and Milan all looking to close down on that man. Caleb Tennant, championship leader, 444. Goosen looking to make up some ground. Because Tristan Purdon has got a lot of work to do. Remember the last round, he was feeling quite ill. Hopefully now all of that is behind him. Gates are about to drop as we are eyes down and racing. Here we go, down towards turn 1. Who's going to get the whole shot? Coming through that mid-pack and into turn 1. It looks like it's going to be Caleb Tennant. Tennant gets the whole shot. He goes flying through Bridgestone turn and leads things out as they come out of into turn 2. Getting up over the big Ridgeway race bar tabletop, and whoa, it's a big move there from Goosen. Right in the very early stages, looking to close things down as quickly as he can, but Tennant has got the drop on everybody, and it looks like he's going to have to fight off the rest of this pack. If he gets away, they're going to make it very difficult for these guys to try and follow. They're heading up towards 7th heaven right now, and it's Goosen closing in. What a start coming out of Jaden Ashwell as well. Ashwell with a phenomenal start there. Much better from the Zimbabwean this time out, and you can see he's just loving conditions here today. Ashwell now under attack, and Goosen starting to close him down. So is Purdon. Purdon and Goosen, the two Yamaha boys, trying to make a little bit of maneuver there as they go up over the Cycra 7th heaven jump. And look at the wind. It's a big factor that's going to have to be played into today. The wind is starting to pump here, and you cannot get too much airtime. Otherwise, these big 450s are going to be just pushed right over the side of the jump. Speaking of the side of the jump, did you see that? Wow, Reynard on the inside of Ross Branch as they came flying through there. Looks like he might have got through. I think he has, yes. Just making a little bit of maneuver. Milan not getting the start he wanted. Matty Milan's got some work to do coming from the back end of the field as the rest of this pack of riders come hauling through. Jerry Cock right at the back there on the Honda as Cam Odendahl just ahead of him, and Sharon Moore with a much better start there, down in 15th. But back to the front end. Look at Tennant disappearing, trying to open up a big margin over the KTM and the two Yamahas, and his teammate just in the background starting to make up some ground now as Kieran Fitzgerald is the next man in Milan's sights. Flying through there, look at this. Oh, Milan goes wide. Kieran Fitzgerald goes on the inside. Oh, who's that? That 94 bike. Wow, that's Nicholas Adams. Haven't seen him in racing this close action in a long time, but Adams having a phenomenal outing here. And look at this dice. Oh, a change up. There you go. Goosen just flying through, and Purdon getting past as well. Unfortunately, looks like Ashwell just making a little mistake somewhere on track, opening up the door and allowing a bit of a change up there for the top 3. Here we go, into the thick of it again. Ashwell under attack. There's Goosen. He dives on the inside just before they head up onto the step up and up over that 100% step up. Whoa, great move there from the Yamahas. So it's the two Yamaha boys looking to close down now on the back end of Caleb Tennant. Tennant's got to keep it all together. Where is Milan going? Taking a slightly different line there. As you can see, there's 2 lines through that little flick-flack, and he managed to just hang on to it. Purdon can see Tennant. He's only that far up the road. Here comes Goosen, and in the background, here comes Milan. Milan going to go through the middle of those 2 KTMs. I think he got through. Very close action there between the 2 KTMs of Fitzgerald. Oh, and look at how hard Tennant is pushing. Running slightly off track there before he hits 7th heaven. Fitzgerald trying to keep Milan out. Milan looking to go past him in the air. Tear-off time. Wow. Brilliant stuff. In the mid-air. Just a little tear-off there to give him some clean vision. He's been eating roost, and he's going to try and return the favor now. Or is Fitzgerald going to lie? No, Fitzgerald can't keep him out. He just gets squeezed out and gets past. So it's Tennant who leads things out. There you can see the lead he's got. Over the second place, Tristan Purdon. And it's Matthew Milan now starting to put in massive amounts of time here. He's going to try and close down on Goosen. Goosen's just up the road, and not a long way to go for him. Tennant looks back. He knows he's in a fight. It's not going to be easy and plain sailing for him. He got the whole shot. He got away, but it looks like Purdon is matching him. He's trying to find just some chink in the armor there, but it's not easy. That is for sure. Look at Milan using that slightly different line through the flick-flack there as they come down to this bottom turn. Milan is pushing it to the limit. Look at that Q4 Fuels. Husqvarna digging in. Oh, Ashwell, unfortunately, looks like he's lost out to Kieran Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's got through there on Jaden Ashwell as well, so that is the leading KTM. So we've got 2 Husqvarnas, 2 Yamahas, and 2 KTMs fighting for the top 6 honors here in Bloemfontein. Remember, this is only heat number 1. Can you just imagine what's going to be happening throughout this day? If this is the kind of racing we're seeing from these guys. A phenomenal effort there from Nick Adams. He really is going well and potentially going to be finishing up in the top 10. Purdon trying to just keep the bike as low as possible. Doesn't want the wind to come into play. There, look at that. Look at how Matty Milan, as he got past Goosen, looks across the circuit as he hits the big takeoff to see how far up the road the leaders are. I think it might be a little bit too far for Milan to make any inroads into them. Here comes Anthony Reynard with a bit of late race pace, sneaking through on the Kawasaki. And Adams demoted down 1 position there. Reynard up into 7th. Looks like Ross Branch also not too far off the back end there of Adams. On into the closing stages now. Look at how tight it is here between the top two. Milan, unfortunately, is going to have to settle for third place. I don't think he's got enough time to get onto the front end and pass Caleb Tennant, his teammate, and Tristan Purdon on the Tinswalo Yamaha. Wow. KTMs are not done yet. In fact, there's a very, very fast one coming along. And look at that. Adams has actually gone back at Reynard. So the Kawasaki getting up the inside of that A Sports and Lights by Linear KTM. It looks like it might be a fight right to the checkered flag. Speaking of checkered flag, it's about to come out, and it's Tennant with the first win of the day. Right on his tail, though, was Tristan Purdon. That'll be a big concern for Tennant. He's going to need to find something special to get away from Tristan Purdon. Milan in third, and Goosen down in fourth. Welcome back to the Bloemfontein Off-Road Club. Action on track and off as always. I think there's more action probably in that little sandbox than actually what happens on the track, to be honest. But we're heading into the 125 high school category now. And as they line up, have a look at that. 114 Tabo Festera hooking second gear to start in. Just showing the amount of power that comes out of these little 125s. Eyes down, waiting for those gates to drop. Here we go. It's time for the Brat Pack. Oh, they've held them for a long, long time. Eventually the gates drop and out the gates they go. Good start there from Festera. Looks like second might be an option. Around the outside, though, it looks like Dalton Fenter might be the man to catch as he looks like he's gone into the front. Or has he? It looks like Fenter on that CRT machine has got through only just. And yes, leading things out as they come across the line and over that big jump. No, Fenter around the outside. On his inside, it looks like it might have been AJ Fasaki who got a great start. And then, of course, Justin Sangster. Sangster coming into this round as the championship leader. So he's got it all to do to try and maintain that championship lead. At this stage, it looks like he's sitting down in about 6th or 7th place. They didn't quite get the start he wanted, but Fenter certainly did. Fenter now leading things out and coming into that FMF and Pro Taper turn. It looks like he's going to be the man to try and be caught out here by the rest of this field. 25 up there as well. Super start from AJ, but as I said, AJ Fasaki just losing a little bit of ground there, and the two of them chopping and changing, but eventually Fenter getting through as they went over the big step up. Fasaki hangs on to second. He has the battle for third. Currently led out by Davin Cocker. Sangster's in that pack as well. And right with him is Arnu Simon. Good start there from Arnu. Let's see if he can keep it all together and stay with his top pack and potentially get into the top 5 overall. Nice move as well on the inside there from Miguel Deval. Migsy having a super start. Little Yamaha looks like it might be the mark to be on here. Let's see if we can take it to the front end to those KTMs. Big field as well. Great to see 20 riders in total in the 125s. And making up, as we mentioned earlier on, 20 of those, 178 record number of entries here today. High-flying action, as always, in the Brat Pack, but these guys hold nothing back, and particularly this man. Dalton Fenter, if you remember, last year we came to Bloemfontein, crashed out in the 85s, ran across the circuit and went and jumped on his spare bike, which wasn't allowed to be done, of course, but this time out, he's now high-flying at the front end of 125s, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any issues. And look at that, looks like Regan Warsmith might have moved up to second place. Let's have a look. There is our leader, just looking in the background to pick up whether Warsmith has got through. No, Fasaki's still there. Here comes Warsmith, but Warsmith is closing. The Lights by Linear man bringing along not only him, the rest of the pack, but Justin Sangster, more importantly. That is the championship leader, and Sangster not going as fast as what he did at the previous round. So he's got a little bit of work to do in between these two heats to try and catch that man out front, but here comes Fasaki. Warsmith definitely on a move. Regan Warsmith is flying through this field rapidly and is slowly but surely closing down. AJ Fasaki is trying to hang on. There's Mark Cardi, good ride from Cardi. And then just behind there, the 114. That's the man we saw in the gates, of course, Tabo Festera. And now looking for a possibility of a top 10. Festera just into the top 10 as we speak. So the 151, sure, he has just got a comfortable margin over these two. But I think these two are going to be fighting hard, probably within the next half a lap. And there's definitely going to be some action there between Regan Warsmith and AJ Fasaki. Cardi starting to close in. Sangster's in that pack as well. You've got Anu Simon and Davin Cocker. That's the second pack of riders on track. And there you go, second place, change up. Oh, in fact, where's Fasaki gone? AJ Fasaki's gone missing. I think he might have gone down somewhere. There, he's back up and riding, but he's lost a lot of ground. And in fact, Sangster now closing in on him. Oh, going to be a battle here for the podium a little bit further back. Oh, problem for Calvin Jean-Jacques. He goes down again. That's the second time he's crashed out in that turn. Big pity for the youngster, but he gets back up and hopefully can get going again. Looks like there's too much injuries. Oh, there you go, Sangster. Finding a little bit of a hotter line coming through the flick black, and has he got through? Yes, he has. Sangster just making Davin Cocker fall by the wayside there for third place. So let's have a quick squiz at the overall for the day. Dalton Fenter taking the win overall ahead of Regan Warsmith and Justin Sangster. Let's catch up with our winner.
Going to 7 Heaven, I got past AJ for the from there, I've just maintained the lead. Regan closing a bit, but I kept it there. I'd like to thank my sponsors, CIT Husqvarna, Ryan Shapiro, Monet Fisser, Fly, Acrowash, and Liquor Molly.
Welcome back to action from round 3 of the TRP National Motocross Championships here in Bloemfontein. See a couple of guys just doing a little bit of preparation for their racing later, but MX3s are now in the gate, and it looks like we can have another fantastic fight at the front end in this category. Topless and Bircher were the men to beat in Maritzburg. Dierwold van der Berg, the championship leader, has got some work to do here this weekend to try and close things down in that championship and maybe just extend it slightly. As you can see coming in there, the red plate now belongs to Topless. A little bit of a change up from what we saw at the first round. But there's definitely 3 riders that are literally dominating the front end of this field. However, here in Bloemfontein, Roger Dean Bergstrom might be a factor as well. Let's keep an eye on him. Topless going to be fighting hard. Didn't quite get the start he wanted. Let's see how he comes through that field. He doesn't really have to worry too much about getting a good start because he has got great race pace. And speaking of great race pace, how was that for a start from Jacques van der Merwe? Didn't expect to see him leading things out in whole shotting, but he's done that. He's under pressure there from Bircher. Bircher already applying the pressure as they come through the FMF section. You can see it's going to be a bit of a fight of note here. And it's not the championship leader who's in that fight. Dierwold van der Berg there in 3rd place, Bergstrom in 4th as they go over 7th heaven. And it looks like only down in about 6th or 7th place there for Ian Topless. Let's see what he can do now to come through. Bircher's got through on Van der Merwe. Here comes Van der Berg, the fast house man, looking for a way through and finds it very easily. Van der Merwe demoted down into 3rd place as they go through Pro Taper. Very tight between these guys. Further back there, the 44th, Trevor Hill. He'll be fighting hard, of course, with Topless and Dax Hunt in the 40 to 49-year-old category. Remember, we've got 3 classes out there. 50 plus is the second one. And then at the front end, majority of the riders are in the 30 to 39 age group category as well. But all mixed up for MX3 Honours. There's a move on the inside. Good hot line coming out of John Hubbard. Hubbard was actually very good down in Maritzburg. Hasn't quite got the start he wanted. Maybe we'll have to wait for him to come through this pack if he can find a way. But Jono, definitely a man not to take out of the equation. Look at this though. Wow. Fast house on his shirt, and he is certainly showing this house how fast he is. Dierwold van der Berg getting away from the rest of this pack of riders. And it looks like Bircher might be caught here by Ian Topless. Topless looking to close down on him as well. Topless, in fact, getting through, and it looks like a bit of a change up there right in the closing stages. Ian Topless going to hang on for 2nd place. The win is going to go to Dierwold van der Berg, and a great start there for him, and a great outing in Bloemfontein as well for MX3s. Dierwold van der Berg beating out Bircher and Roger Dean Bergstrom. Topless taking the 40 to 49-year-olds, and Gary Killian winning the 50 plus.
We worked the last 4 or 5 weeks, R&M Racing, our team manager Gary Flynn, the Van Staden family with the motocross track, Husky itself, Fred and them, just everything worked out perfect, so we had a great time.
So from the flying machines, we're heading into some more flying machines, and the crowd are definitely looking forward to more MX1 action now for heat number 2. As they line up in the gates, and just before those gates drop, we're going to catch up with one of our top rookie contenders in the MX1 class, Jaden Ashwell.
Born in Marondera, Zimbabwe. Went to a show, and then my parents were there. They bought me a Pee-wee 50 and then just started off from there. Definitely the African Championships. I've got 3 of those, so pretty proud of that. And then got a few Zimbabwe Championships and 2 South African Championships. Pretty much wake up, go to gym, 5 days a week, riding 3 days a week, and then just trying to eat clean. And yeah, got guidance from Dylan from 2-on-1 Training Solutions to help me through it. At the moment, Tony Caroli. My favourite track that I've ridden, Hangtown.
It's time to Hangtown now. Well, not Hangtown, but Hang Cable, that's for sure. MX1 heat number 2, and they're all in the gates, ready to rock and roll. It's going to be an epic battle here as always, and really, as much as Caleb Tennant wants to try and make it a double on the day, he has got such an incredible pack of riders around him. It's going to be very difficult for him to do the same thing. Gates drop, and we're heading down towards Bridgestone Turn for the first time. Is it Tennant? Yes, it is. Oh, what a move. Caleb Tennant round the outside, hole shotting into turn 1, into Bridgestone. And it looks like on his tail, is it a better start coming out of his teammate? No, it is the 94 of Nicholas Adams as the riders going down in the background. One of them is Tristan Purdon, the other one Ross Branch. Oh, 4 riders involved in that first lap incident. Not quite what they wanted, that is for sure. But if those guys can get back up, there's still a lot of time available. 18 minutes and a lap to go for these heats. Sure, but that's a big mountain to climb. It is Tennant that leads things out. As I said, what a start there from Nicholas Adams. He's in second place on the Kawasaki. It's Milan in third, Goose in 4, Ashwell 5. Then just behind them, Reynard and, whoa, hello. Not a great start coming out of Kieran Fitzgerald, but serious ground to be made up now as he starts to make his way through this field. It's a bit of scrubbing his racing as they come through here, trying to keep the bikes as low as possible. There's lots of wind and they do not want to be pushed off. Good start there from Tyson Engelbrecht. A much better start from him. Certainly a massive amount of improvement coming out of that young rider, looking for a top 10 finisher if he can stay with this big pack at the front. Big maneuvers happening as you can see Ashwell trying to close down there on Goosen. Goosen and Ashwell very evenly matched. Reynard side by side and almost in a bit of a lone battle with the other KTM on track, of course, and that is Kieran Fitzgerald. Chopping and changing as they come through there. Matty Milan going at it with Nick Adams. Here's Reynard starting to make some maneuvers and getting through to the front end. He's just behind Fitzgerald. Oh, good recovery here from Purdon. Purdon starting to make his way back through the field. Just outside the top 10. In fact, just behind him there, you can see a little bit of effort there from Ruben Okamp. Also having a super run here. Milan, has he eventually got through on that Kawasaki? Let's have a look and see. I think he might have. Yes, he has. He's got past, and it looks like Nick Adams now falling into the clutches of the KTM boys. Tennant just disappearing at the front end. Oh, no, I say that. Oh, Nick Adams is coming back for a late race pace. Oh, this is fantastic to see. Nicholas Adams giving the usual contenders a very good run for their money. And in fact, these two Husqvarnas are going to have to work hard to keep this Kawasaki off. He's lost a little bit of ground now to Matty Milan. Milan just using slightly different lines and of course riding as Matty Milan does. Completely mad. And finding those hot lines to get away from the Kawasaki. I think Adams will have to be concerned about David Goosen. He's the next man behind him. And I think the Yamaha doesn't want to lose too much ground to those two Huskies. There you can see the top 3 going through. There's Goosen. Behind him it's Ashwell. And then coming across, here comes Reynard and Fitzgerald. So super effort here from these guys. Looking back, I also think I just picked up on Ross Branch, starting to make his way back towards the top 10. And he's following Tristan Purdon around after the two of them crashed out in turn 1. Late braking here from Ruben Okamp as he starts to close onto the back end of Tyson Engelbrecht. Nice little fight there for the last position in top 10. In fact, I say that, here comes Purdon. Purdon is just behind them, so that means Purdon has got the top 10 well within his sights. Wonder how far up he's going to be able to finish. Remember, he is last year's champion in this category. Top 3 going through Motel, now coming into this very tricky left-hander that brings him into the 100% zone. Reynard also closing down now. Oh, Reynard on the inside, looking for a different line here on Fitzgerald. Is that going to work out for him? Block pass from Reynard. And side by side, Lights by Linear and Red Bull KTMs go across that big step up at 100%. Tennant high line. Oh man, Matty Milan is concerned. He keeps looking over his shoulder. You can hear that Kawasaki hounding him. And in fact, they're actually slowing each other up ever so slightly and allowing David Goosen to close in. Oh, there you go. Milan found a slightly better line through there as Tennant shows us how to do it and get the dirt up to get away from this big pack. He's taken 2 out of 2 so far in terms of hole shots. Whether or not he can do the double here today, we'll have to wait and see, because his teammate is flying and so is Goosen. And in fact, I think Goosen, has he just been able to get through? Yes, he has. He's got through there on Adams. Ashwell now looking to close down on the Kawasaki. Great to see if Nicholas Adams can just hang in there to survive. The top 5 would be a phenomenal effort from him. Milan in second. How far back is Goosen? Just caught a glimpse of him. There he comes into sight now. Looking for a 3rd place here. I think Ashwell might have enough time here to close down and get past the Kawasaki. Let's wait and see. The flag is about to come out. They come through just 1 for the final time. And it is a phenomenal effort from Caleb Tennant to take 2 wins out of 2 starts for the Q4 Fuels Husqvarna team. His teammate in second and Goosen in third, with Ashwell and Reynard making up 4 and 5. An awesome effort from this young man. Let's see how he goes to the next round. Nick Adams.
Struggled with a bit of a pace in the beginning of the day, but in the second heat I kind of came back a bit and just up front with the guys again, it was really good. Got a little bit tired at the end with the arm pump. But I couldn't be more thankful for Kawasaki South and Kawasaki South Africa. A whole bunch of people putting into me getting back to racing, and yeah, it was good. Just got to get that fitness back up and put in some hours.
2 out of 2 and a very happy man on top of the podium, Caleb Tennant.
MX1 went great. Got the fast in qualifying, which was awesome. Got the first gate pick, and my start was just on point today. I made my life easy for myself. Just ran clean laps every lap, hardly any mistakes, and was able to just manage each race and lead from start to finish. So for me, it was an awesome day, and got a good points lead now, and we're looking forward to the next round.
All this TRP National Motocross action is proudly brought to you by Bridgestone Motorcycle Tyres, Thor Riding Apparel, and their associate sponsors.